VITV, kênh truyền hình chuyên biệt về kinh tế tài chính theo thời gian thực đầu tiên tại Việt Nam. VITV, thông tin chính xác. VITV, trao đổi thẳng thắn, chân thực, đối thoại đa chiều về các vấn đề kinh tế trong nước và thế giới. VITV, nội dung sống động, tin tức cập nhật. VITV, mọi lúc, mọi nơi. VITV, khởi nguồn kinh doanh.
Thank you, Mr. Arsh Chaudhry, Executive Managing Director of Cushman, Wakefield, Southeast Asia, to join us today. We have a few questions for you relating the real estate market in Vietnam. According to Vietnam Asset Management Company, 67% of non-performing loan (NPL) belonging to real estate. How would you assess this number? Have any other neighboring countries like Cambodia, Laos or Myanmar encountered the NPL rate like Vietnam?
Firstly, the 67%, that number seems about right. Nobody has seen the list, but we hear that the number is anywhere from 65 to 70%. So your guesstimate is pretty good. That's what we hear as well. The whole concept of VAMC, I think, is a great initiative by the government to make sure that the non-performing loans come out of the books of the banks and get flushed out of the system at some point in time. And I think that will help kickstart the economy.
What are the main sectors contributing to this NPL and what are existing problems that the local market have to resolve?
So if you look at, from what we hear about the NPLs, the primary constituents of the non-performing loans within the real estate sector tend to be primarily in residential. They're all over across all asset classes, offices, retail and residential, but the largest chunk is of course residential, between the $1,000 to $2,000 per square meter range, which is the bulk of the middle income group of the housing sector. So that's the biggest constituent of the non-performing loans.
Recently, Vietnam market welcomes a number of support like interest rate lowering, 30 trillion aid package, 50 trillion bank package. How would the market develop given such favorable conditions?
So there are a couple of things happening. One is the external stimulus and the other is the internal stimulus. Certainly from the external stimulus side, the fact that interest rates have come down is helping build investor confidence. So if you saw 12 months ago or 18 months ago, interest rates were at 24-25%. Now they've come down to about 11 to 12%. So that, of course, makes home buying more conducive. They could certainly come down lower, but it's at reasonably healthy levels already today. That is good. The government's initiative to pump in trillions of dollars, 30 million aid package and the 50 trillion aid package is a good initiative. However, I would caution that it needs to go into the right projects and projects that are feasible. And by that I mean, this aid should be going to those projects which ultimately the recipients, the developers that do receive this capital have the ability then to exit, to sell the residential units in the marketplace. And therefore their expectations of exit needs to be correct.
As one of the leading real estate service providers in Vietnam, what are Cushman Wakefield's plan to approach the market, especially the three main cities, Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi and Da Nang, under this downturn?
So we've been here 7 years, and I don't view certainly this year and last year as a downturn. I think we've certainly come out of the downturn and there's a lot of positive momentum that's getting built in our business and certainly in the rest of the industry as well. Our industry is growing, our company is growing in both cities, Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, and we've been hiring across all of our service lines. So if you look at our service lines, they're focused towards the two real estate groups, occupiers and investors. So our group here has the ability to reach out to professionals across the world and bring in the best planning, the best consulting, the best structures possible, and advise developers to build world-class malls or office complexes or residential complexes, advising them across asset classes. So I'm very bullish about Cushman & Wakefield here in Vietnam.
Okay. Thank you again, Mr. Arsh Chaudhry, Executive Managing Director of Cushman & Wakefield, Southeast Asia, for this very interesting
VITV, kênh truyền hình chuyên biệt về kinh tế tài chính theo thời gian thực đầu tiên tại Việt Nam. VITV, thông tin chính xác. VITV, trao đổi thẳng thắn, chân thực, đối thoại đa chiều về các vấn đề kinh tế trong nước và thế giới. VITV, nội dung sống động, tin tức cập nhật. VITV, mọi lúc, mọi nơi. VITV, khởi nguồn kinh doanh.